Yes, hello. Yes, okay, good. We're on. So, how's it going? My name is Milo, and today I'm streaming a game on a Nintendo system. This should advance. Requires input. Yes, this is Quest for Camelot, a Game Boy Color game that is based on the 1998 Warner Brothers animated movie of the same name. Yeah, so I hadn't seen this movie until yesterday when I watched it. It's fresh in my mind and I'll be able to compare it to the game. There's no sounds yet. I think that's normal. I don't know. I think this game is, music on. Yes. So this is made by Titus. They're not exactly excellent purveyors of quality. Yeah, so this is the opening scene in the movie. Oh my goodness, that art is something special. Like I was saying, they're known for their licensed games and not necessarily of great quality. So, yes, that's Kaylee. Her father is a knight of the Round Table in King Arthur's court in Camelot. Oh gosh, there was a lot of text that I completely missed. Actually, that castle looks pretty good. Still not getting any sound, but I think that's normal. Yes, so we're in Camelot. All the knights have been called together and King Arthur is going to divvy up the land, which apparently hasn't been done yet. I don't know why it took him so long. This is supposedly the 10-year anniversary of the kingdom's founding when he took the sword, Excalibur, and thereby gained the divine right to become king. There's no way I'm reading all that. That's crazy. So that's Ruba there. He's the bad guy. He didn't want his fair share. He wanted more than his fair share, and he even had ambition to become king. So he attacked Arthur, but the other knights defended him. Oh gosh, Ruba swung viciously with his mace, but Arthur deflected the blow with Excalibur, and Ruba was sent flying across the room. He rose to his feet and glared at Arthur. "One day that sword will be in my hand, and all will be mine." He's voiced by Gary Oldman in the movie, and he does an excellent accent. The knights charged Ruba, but he escaped. However, Ruba had left a horrible reminder of his betrayal. Sir Lionel lay fallen. At Sir Lionel's funeral, Kaylee and her mother, Lady Juliana, grieved deeply. Kaylee swore she would never forget him and vowed to become a knight like her father. Ruba vanished after his dissension, and nobody had seen or heard from him, that is, until today, 10 years later. She didn't have green eyes in the movie. Yes, okay, welcome to chat, Bobinator. Bob apparently had this game, and even back then it was ... Yeah, he wasn't very interested in it. Bob says he's not one for hyperbole, but he didn't enjoy it. Given is comparing the art to Jesus Restoration, which I don't know the reference, sorry. Okay, so there's Ruba coming back after 10 years. He busts into Juliana and Kaylee's home and takes them hostage. This is sort of a remnant of... so this movie is loosely based on a novel, and I'll talk more about that later, but in the confusion, Kaylee escapes. Ruba uses a magic potion to make like mechanical golem men out of his henchmen. And that's it. Now we're in the game, I guess. Okay, so the cutscenes, the bad art is not limited to the cutscenes. Like, I can see what they're going for with these character sprites, but yeah, it's sort of a chibi SD style, but it doesn't look fantastic. Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is on the Game Boy Color, but it does have Super Game Boy enhancements, by which I mean it plays in like normal Game Boy mode with no extra colors, but there's a nice border, so I don't know, check that out sometime. There's some like trees, sort of framing the frame. Yeah, you get the idea. Oh right, the restoration of the Jesus painting that was so bad that it became an internet meme. I do remember that. there was an old painting in a chapel or something, and somebody had a crack at restoring it, and they were not a good artist. Yes, so, random farmer. Uber stormed the manor and captured your mother, Lady Juliana. Be careful, those knights are ruthless. Go see if the blacksmith to the east can help. To talk to people, stand next to them and hold the control. I don't know what that little symbol is. Maybe it's meant to be a cross like the control pad. Hold the control pad in their direction, then press the A or B button. If you want to save, press start to view the item screen. Highlight the save icon and press the button you want to assign control to. Press start to... This is complicated. Press start to resume gameplay. Now press the button to which you assigned control and your progress will be saved. All items can be equipped like this. You'll need 30 gems in order to save your progress. Now hurry! Wow. He was off rather sharpish. So, yeah, there's kind of... Okay, so this is my item screen. It's completely empty except for the save item. Yeah, pay to save is... It's not very nice, is it? Pay to save sucker, says Bob. So now that it's on my B button, I can press B. Oh no, A. A or B. I think it's A. Yeah, okay. And then it asks you if you want to save. And if you do, it'll charge you 30 gems, sucker. I do not like that. And I cannot now remove the save item. Whoops, what was that? Oh, it's tracking my time, sword experience, and next level. Okay, and there's some kind of map or something. Alright, I better make sure not to accidentally hit the save button, because it's gonna, like, bring up that cutscene and everything. Like, that's the thing about this game. It's slow and plodding. Ooh, that's a bad guy. So this is one of the evil knights. It's been sort of fused with his armor and weapon into a mechanical beast. Okay, so the farmer did mention a blacksmith to the east. So let's go check that out. Yes. Okay. That's not the way. I'll go the other way then. The roundabout way to the east. So, yeah, okay. So like I was saying, this is Titus. It was made in France by Titus France, which I think is the main branch of Titus. They had another branch in the US at some point. Okay, hello. My 5 hens were frightened away by Ruber's knights. Help me find my hens and I will reward you. Kind of a wimpy voice for a blacksmith, but... Oh, no! I wanted to open the door, not save. Can I go back to before I assigned the save icon? I'm not going to be using it at all during this game since I have save states. Yeah, I'm just trying to open doors and stuff. I guess doors aren't operable in this game. Yeah. So what I heard is that this is basically a Zelda clone. Whoopsie. Actually, those heart icons look pretty familiar, but you know, there's not much you can do with hearts at this level of graphics detail. Oh, I left the heater on. Hang on. That fan's probably making noise. It's not like I even need it. It's the middle of the day and the sun is warming up the place pretty well. Unless it's not warm enough for the cat, she might start complaining again. We can have a repeat of last week. Okay, is there a hen in a cave? Oh, there is. Screen warping effect, pretty interesting. Yeah, so I haven't seen a way to make more money yet. So paying to save is really not a nice move. Who are you? Oh, Swordmaster. Sorry, I can't help you. You should talk to my brother. He's the blacksmith to the north of here. Alrighty, mister. Yeah. So this game actually came out the same year as the film, 1998, which I think was pretty close to the start of the Game Boy Color's life, because it only lasted for a few years. Mm-hmm. Oh. Is this a self-contained area? I'm not sure. I don't have a map or anything, do I? Doesn't seem like it. I see you, chicken. They were chickens, right? There's a chicken who's a kind of a main character in the movie. Not really a main character. He's the first to get transformed like the knights. He gets combined with an axe blade and becomes Blade Beak, and somehow gains the ability to talk because they wanted to chuck in extra talking animal mascot characters. Yeah, Gibbon says Blade Beak is obviously meant to be the Bartok of the movie, and I don't know, I don't get that reference. Oh, who's this? Is this Merlin? It is, okay. Ruber is in the manor. You must find him and save your mother. But first you need to be a skilled sword fighter or you won't stand a chance against him. There are people in town that might be able to help. So Merlin didn't have much of a part in the film. He was there and he certainly didn't interact with the main character. She sort of took her own initiative to, you know, set the plot in motion and try and save her mother and the kingdom and everything. So having Merlin here, like, mansplaining to you what to do, kind of annoying. You do find out at the end that it's sort of implied that Merlin had sent the Falcon Aiden to help Garrett because I guess he foresaw everything, but he wanted the kids to handle it. I don't know. It's confusing to me. I guess I'll go back through here. So this is a little self-contained area that I warped to, but I'll go back, and there was another way down here that I didn't go. Oh, okay, so yeah, Bartok, says Gibbon, is the talking bat sidekick from Anastasia, who got his own spin-off film, which Gibbon says is amazing, called Bartok the Magnificent. Yeah, I never heard of that. I was going to compare the movie to Anastasia, because this is sort of during the Disney Renaissance boom, when after Little Mermaid in 1989, Disney seemed to only be able to make hit after hit, and all their animated movies were really great and doing very well financially. And recognizing this, other companies stepped in and tried to copy their success. So you had Anastasia, you had Prince of Egypt from DreamWorks, and DreamWorks was probably the most successful in the long run in terms of the success of the company in making rival animated films. And yeah, Warner Brothers tried their own thing with this one. It was in development for quite a few years. Things got changed around a bit. I've read some pretty interesting stories from people who were involved in the production. Kind of a big cluster mess of a production as a result of executive meddling and so forth. How do I get to that cave? There must be one I haven't been in yet. So, not here. On the bottom bar it says I have one-time sword, but I don't appear to. So what happens when I die? Ooh, nice. That's actually very on model. Unlike the other art that we've seen so far. That's what Ruber does look like. Oh, okay, new game. Well, I'll do that, and I won't use the... Oops. Damn. Gonna have to go through this again. Yeah, I won't use the save chest this time, so I won't accidentally activate it. Given predicts that will be the only on-model piece of art in the game. Yeah, I wouldn't take that bet. I think you're probably right. Okay, so I'll go through this methodically this time. We talk to the blacksmith first. Now we will go, say, anti-clockwise. Actually, speaking of Bartok, I don't know how to recover health either, so best not to take too much damage. Fern Gully was another one of the movies that got made around that time. I think it's the same people who made Anastasia, because the bat is basically the same between the two movies, although I don't remember well enough. Does he talk? I don't know. Anyway, the bat looks very similar. I don't think it's supposed to be the same character, but there was clearly the clearly inspiration there. So the chicken is on this map, but I wonder if I can warp to it from the other map. I'm not being careful, rushing too much. So it's a sword master. Oh, right. Gibbon says, yes, the bat in Fern Gully talks. No, it's not the same character. And he says they actually look quite different. Oh, well. Never mind then. Am I right about them being the same company? I'd hate to be completely wrong in so many ways. Okay, so I've done that part. Maybe a chicken appeared over here. No. I really need that sword. Oh, they weren't? Oh, man. This is just one of those things that my brain accidentally... Yeah. Bob says Fern Gully was Fox. Yeah, I was saying Fern Gully and Anastasia being the same. Warner Brothers Animation, the people who made this movie, they basically did this, and then the movie kind of flopped. So the studio was kind of dissolved after this. During the process, some of them were moved off the project onto Space Jam for the animated segments of that. Wiki says yes. Wiki says yes for Fern Gully being Fox, I think is what Bob's saying. But yeah, after this, they didn't. Yeah, I think they kind of shut down the company. Although they did do Iron Giant a bit later on. I'm not really sure of the continuity of the staff and the production studio. But by all accounts, oh, I can swim in this river. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, by all accounts, the quest for Camelot was a failure. The original team working on Quest for the Grail was the Fern Gully team, Croyer. You mean Quest for Camelot? Yeah, because Croyer was the name of the original director. Or two directors, the Croyers. And yes, they quit due to, as Gibbon is saying, they quit due to the meddling by Warner Brothers executives, which is well documented. Oh, okay, so they were calling the film Quest for the Grail, and when it got reworked extensively, it was changed to Quest for Camelot, and I guess the Grail element was removed even. And yeah, the director position was taken over by Frederick Duchow. Alright, finally we have the 5 chickens. Thank you for finding my hens. I'm impressed so far. Oh, I had to forget what voice this guy had. It was kind of a squeaky voice. I'm impressed so far, but you won't last long without a sword. That's completely not the right voice, but okay. Because he helped me, I'm going to help you. I want you to take my sword. It's the best sword I've ever made. For sword lessons, you should go see my brother. He lives in a home to the south. Yeah, so the sword thing is interesting because in the film, Kaylee doesn't really use a sword at all. She carries Excalibur for a little bit when she's taking it back to Arthur because she finds it in the forest. But in this game, she's going to actually learn to be a swordsman. She has this ambition to be a knight, but and she has the will to do it, but in the movie she never really learns combat per se. Excuse me? Maybe I need to equip the sword. I don't even have the sword here. But I can't. What? What? Hold on. Let me see what this guy said again. Thank you for finding my hands. I'm impressed so far. You won't last long. Oh, I need to pick up the sword. It's on the ground over here. He didn't just give it to me. Oh, nice. Jingle. Okay. You acquired the sword. Indeed I did. Excellent. Now we can attack things. Yeah, so Kaylee, yeah, this is part of the problem, I think, with the film that some people had with it. Oh, 10 gems from killing a knight. That's interesting. It's not bad. Not sure what else the gems are used for other than saving your game, but might as well get some anyway. So one of the animators that worked on this film was Lauren Faust, who you might know now as not the creator of My Little Pony, but the person who sort of rejuvenated the brand by doing Friendship is Magic in recent years. And she's worked on other things like Powerpuff Girls and so on, and outspoken feminist as well, which is nice. But yeah, she has all sorts of nasty things to say about this film, based on, you know, the working environment that she had to deal with, and the executives, as we said, meddling with the project. They were all running around and making changes based on their whims, and they didn't really know how to run an animation studio the way Disney did, but they wanted to make a Disney quality film without actually having the know-how. Anyway. Hey, what was this guy's voice? Hey, that's my brother's sword. You either stole it or you helped him in some way. You look honest, so he must have given it to you. That sword was his most prized possession. If he was compelled to give you the sword, then I would teach you about combat. But first, you must save the town from Ruba's evil knights. They're destroying everything. For now, I can tell you this. Your sword has special powers. You can gain combat experience from enemies to raise your sword's power level. The higher the power level, the more damage your sword will inflict. Once the town is safe, come back and I will teach you more. So he wants me to kill every last enemy, maybe? Yeah, so Lauren Faust, apart from decrying the conditions of working in the animation studio, says that she's very disappointed with how the movie turned out in terms of the script and everything, because she just worked on it. She didn't know how that aspect was even going to work, and despite that, there were lots of changes at the last minute and such. They really were running over deadline and over budget and stuff on this one. Yeah, I'll talk more about the changes later, but just know it was a troubled production. But yeah, she's been critical of the movie since then. One of the reasons being that Kaylee is not a good feminist role model, and I was sort of thinking about that since I watched the movie and whether I think she is or not. And obviously I can't pretend to be an expert on that matter, but on top of it sort of being a matter of interpretation maybe, but I didn't think she was so terrible per se. I was checking out things like TV tropes and such. Whoops, let's rewind a bit there. Handle that a bit better. Which, you know, that's all subjective as well. A lot of opinions there, but one of the labels that was applied to Kaylee in the context of the film was that she was a faux action girl, meaning that she's supposed to be an action-based character who's competent and such, but isn't actually shown being competent in the film, but has to sort of rely on other people or get rescued or whatever. And the only times that faux action girls in the TV tropes parlance are allowed to be competent is in like very specific situations, like if they're fighting another woman or something like that, but they can be overpowered easily. That's part of the trope that is laid out there. And, you know, I know there's problems with TV tropes and all, and classifying media in that way, but it can be a useful way to think about how certain things are presented in media. But anyway, yeah, I was trying to decide whether these criticisms of Kaylee were valid or not. I don't know. What do you think? Let's see. I guess I need to go keep killing more people. Because like that's one of the things in the film. She doesn't really fight anything at any point, and for the most of the time that she's in the Forbidden Forest, she doesn't really know much about the environment and getting around, and has to rely on Garrett pretty heavily. Garrett is the sort of love interest of the film and kind of the deuteragonist, I suppose. So Gibbon weighs in. I don't think she's a bad role model per se, he says, but I don't think she's a particularly good one either. Yeah, I mean, one of my thoughts coming away from the movie was, is she much different at all from, say, Disney princesses of contemporary movies to this? And yeah, I thought she wasn't that different in that respect. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. I need to go back to the Swords Master, because maybe I've killed all the people now. So that's this way. Okay. How's it going, buddy? Yes, I have saved the town. You are ready to learn the finer points of sword combat. The first technique is a spin attack. Oh yeah. Remember how I said this was a Zelda clone? Do this by holding down the button you assigned to control the sword. When the sword is charged, release the button to initiate the attack. This technique can help you attack multiple enemies in any direction. You have learned a great deal, but there is so much more. I am a nomad, so I travel to many places. I must go for now, but find me again for more lessons. Now hurry. I saw Merlin by the manor. He can help you get in. Good luck. Okay. So now I have the spin attack. There it is. Double spin. Interesting. Yeah, so let's just get through this bit first. Your skills have improved greatly, but do not take them for granted. Ruber is strong and his intentions are evil. Now hurry in and rescue your mother. It's the teleport bridge. Okay. Also, Gibbon said earlier, because he said in the original book, which is called The King's Damosel, Damosel, it's like damsel but with an O. It's sort of an archaic spelling of the word damsel, by Vera Chapman. It's a book, you know, obviously heavily inspired by the Arthurian mythos and Arthurian legend, but you know, like it's not the story of Arthur, it's a story of this other person in Camelot at the time, basically. And yes, what did Gibbon say? Yeah, the original book, the second half, centers around the main female lead questing for the Grail to save the life of her blind lover. Whereas, yeah, that was interesting. Okay, who's this guy? It's a servant. You're going after Reba? Oh gosh. Hold on, that's a package for me. I gotta go to the door. got a big box. It's mostly air. It's supposed to be 2 things in it, but it doesn't feel like it. Well, we'll find out later. There's a lot of tape on the box. And that's enough vamping. Let's get back to the game. Yes, so I need to get a shield first. Yes, you definitely need a shield. I saw a man with a dog pick one up. It had a beautiful crest. Cool. Now, Gibbon is talking a lot about... Yes, this is really interesting stuff. So, yep, let's give voice to Gibbon's commentary here. He says he can certainly see how people would be upset, could be upset that she is getting upstaged by a blind guy of all things, but really the blind guy is also pretty useless. Oh, speaking of useless, that was pretty rough. And I didn't save because that cost 30 rubles. So we'll use the magic of our emulator to undo that. So yeah, it's pretty interesting that the leads of the movie are sort of both aspiring knights in a way, and in the end they become knights. But they're both fighting against the sort of prejudicial roles of their day. Obviously there's no other female knights in the movie at all. Kaylee is sort of the first, even though they don't really make a big deal out of it. She says at the start, oh, I'm going to be a knight one day, and her parents are supportive of that. They don't really try and dissuade her or anything, and yeah, in the end she does get knighted by King Arthur after saving the kingdom. Likewise, Garrett was blinded as a boy and sort of exiled himself from Camelot in sort of shame, thinking that he could never amount to anything with that disability, and he manages to overcome that disability over the course of the movie, or like living in the forest, and yeah, it's pretty interesting how the 2 characters have that in common. So yes, this is the guy with the dog. Ruba stormed the manor, dog ran in here, but he can't find the dog. Okay, gonna have to hunt dogs. Let me check my sword experience. 70, next level 100. So we'll kill a few more bad guys, that's cool. Yeah, and Gibbon continues, Kaylee actually accomplishes more than him outside of the brief sequence where they're going through the forest that he knows like the back of his hand, though he still manages to get through just fine, even if with some difficulty. She's the one who manages to improvise to retrieve the sword, use the living trees to trap the bad guys, come up with the idea of getting Ruba to stab the stone, etc. Yeah, so I agree, she's pretty ingenious and resourceful, and sort of she's got her own moments of doubt and moments where she makes a mistake, but she still manages to overcome the bad guy in her own way by the end, and it's not through just being a combat whiz. That is one ugly dog, but wow. Hello, doggy. You gonna follow me? Oh yeah, I got a buddy now. Nice. Let's go back to your master. Although he ran off, I don't know where he ended up. And Gibbon continues. She's the one doing everything in the film, even if there are other characters there along for the ride. Garrett is impressive in that first scene where he defeats the 2 baddies, but after that he's just quote-unquote the blind guy, and either the Silverwing, that's Aiden the Falcon, or the Dragon do all the heavy lifting when Kaylee isn't doing something clever. Yes, well said. Like, I don't actually know for sure what Lauren Faust's specific objection was. But like I said, I can't see Kaylee as that different to other Disney princesses of the era, and except that she is, well, actually, she's specifically trying to break gender roles, unlike a lot of other Disney princesses. Although I suppose this was just after Mulan, so there is that. Much in common with Mulan, actually. Yeah. But whereas Mulan tries to subvert gender roles by deception, Kaylee is quite upfront about it and eventually gets accepted in that way. And she does sort of wear a dress in the end for her knighting ceremony. That's an accession to femininity. But I don't think... no, I don't remember how Mulan ends, but I think once she's discovered to be a woman, like, her role in the army is basically over. Like, she kind of rescues the guy and then fights the bad guy, but yeah, I don't really remember the ending of that movie too well. There is actually a Mulan game on the list. It's pretty interesting. There's one for Game Boy, and there was a bootleg one for Mega Drive as well. So I'll probably play that at some point. So Ruba's in the dungeon. Okay. A grappling hook. Nice. Okay, I haven't seen any chests, but thanks for the advice. So a grappling hook. Hook shot. So yeah, I would say I like Kaylee and how she's presented in the film. I think she's a fine character. Like, not the best, but, you know, considering the circumstances of the movie's production, I think it came out pretty well. So let's talk about those circumstances, I guess, a bit. I mentioned before the executive meddling and such. Gibbon also talked about how the Croyers were directing the film to be more faithful to the original book. It was going to be a bit darker. It was going to be rated PG-13, which is not a rating we have here, but obviously it's targeted at 13-year-olds. Whereas when the executives started, you know, as I said, meddling, they wanted the rating to come down, so they wanted it to be less violent, more kid-friendly. What's this? Large gem. Okay. What did that do? I have no idea. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, they added songs to the movie. It wasn't originally a musical, but they very consciously were trying to ape the Disney success formula. Okay, here's the dog man. Worried sick about him. I found this shield. Yes, thank you. Gibbon's last post might have been too large. Yeah, break that up. The last thing I saw was Kaylee doing something clever. I have a strange feeling it belongs to you anyway. Interesting. Oh, that's not what the shield in the movie looks like. So Kaylee inherits a shield from her father, but only at the very end of the movie when she becomes a knight. She doesn't really use it during the film. I guess... Or does she use it in that fight scene when Ruba's in the house? Or is it her mother that, like, throws it? I don't quite remember. But it has a big dent in it, which presumably happened when Ruba came at Lionel with a big mace. Oh, this is tricky. When this wizard guy turns big, he becomes invincible. Yeah, so there's it's a round shield in the film. Can I equip it? I can. I now have sword and shield. Hey, hey. Nice little animation. And yet I still got hurt through it. That's annoying. Yeah, it's in the film. This shield she gets given at the end. It's got the crest of Camelot on it, which is a knot as you see on this shield. It's 3 concentric circles, or not concentric. They're like, it's like a Venn diagram where there's just a little bit in the middle, and it represents, I don't know, unity of the kingdom. Okay, so what happened? I got the shield, I got the gem. I have to look for a grappling hook. Okay. Yes. So, yes, okay. Yeah, Gibbon says that he thinks Faust might have been more upset if they'd actually faithfully adapted the book, where the main character is... Oh, yes, by the way, content warning. In the book, there are themes of abuse and sexual assault. So, yes, alert warning. The main character in the book, who was named Lynette, that's another thing they changed when they were meddling. I heard that actually the character, at least Kaylee, maybe some of the others, were changed to be named after children of the executives themselves. So the original name of Lynette was changed to Kaylee. Yes, so in the book, Kaylee is raped when she is younger, and part of the plot is, Gibbon says that the main character is ashamed about it, doesn't stand up for what she wants, meekly accepts being married off to the brother of the man that she loves while he marries her sister, and so on. She then goes and proposes the idea of being Arthur's damsel. Ghostly power, okay. But it's really an outlet for running away from her problems. And even when she falls in love with the blind guy in the second half, she's worried the whole time that he'll leave her if he regains his eyesight. Oh, and she also has to forgive the ghost of her rapist because she's being hunted by literal demons released every time she cursed the bastard, says Gibbon. Yes, it's pretty dark. They've toned down a lot of that stuff for the movie and made it a pretty straightforward adventure movie with talking animals and hijinks and stuff. Oh boy. Okay, so I've roamed around this huge place. Let's try going back outside. Now that I have a shield. I still need that grappling hook though. Maybe I should go back and talk to Mel and... Yes. Oh, hang on. Gotta go take care of that guy. Or do I really? Yes, remind me again. You need something to reach the key. Try looking for a hidden passage. Do you know you could search crates by standing next to them and swinging your sword to knock them open? I did not know that, Mel, and you've been very helpful. Much more helpful than in the film. Although, like I said, he is presumably the one who sent Aiden to help Garrett in the forest. Oh! Gibbon says his computer blue screened. Yikes. That's unfortunate. So crates. Now I'm looking for crates. This is a crate. Ooh. Well, that was weird. That's not what I expect to happen to a crate. I guess there was nothing in it? I'll keep looking for more crates. There's one. Yes, I will be using the fast forward function to get around faster. Because yeah, the game, I saw a long play of it on YouTube. It took 3 hours. So I don't expect to get to the end of this game today. But already they've diverged from the movie's plot. At least, you know, in terms of implementing game mechanics, I suppose. So presumably there's a grappling hook in one of these crates? Aha! I hit hidden switch. What has that done? It's opened that wall. Very intuitive castle design. How are the normal subjects supposed to get around this place? Okay, new area. Yes, okay, so let's see. Yeah, the musical thing, that's interesting. The film didn't originally have songs, but they added them in, and it seems they added them pretty late in the process, and that's backed up by anecdotes. So you can actually notice this if you look carefully during the film, because at one point there's a song that's sort of playing over a sequence of Kaylee escaping. It's the song "The Prayer," which was actually semi-successful outside the context of the film, in terms of the charts and stuff. But actually, that, and in addition, that song was written for a different movie and then was inserted into this one. So the grappling hook, I need to use it outside of that arrow, is what Merlin was saying. So let's do that. And yeah, so this sort of heartfelt song from Kaylee's mother is played over a sort of madcap chase sequence of her escaping from the bad guys. This grappling hook just doesn't seem to do anything. Hitting the button and nothing's happening. Maybe you can only use it in contextual places, possibly. Ruba's villain song, which comes near the start of the film, it's not really much of a song. There's not much of a tune. Also, they had to hire on... Yeah, okay, contextual. Yeah, and it made a rope for me to walk across. That's interesting. Yeah, they had to hire singers because the actors that they got for the voice actors weren't necessarily singers. What's going on? Oh, I have leveled up. So that's what the little sword icon number means to my sword level. So now I'm going to do more damage, presumably. And I mean, hiring different voice actors and singing actors is not an unusual thing. But I don't know, I thought whoever they got to do Garrett singing, his voice was pretty different from Cary Elwes, who does the voice acting for Garrett. That's just one example. So, I don't know, that could have been better. By the way, when I'm looking down, Kaylee's face looks like she's doing an emoticon where it's close pointy bracket underscore open pointy bracket. So it looks like she's severely pained by everything she's doing. Gibbon says, yeah, but the songs were good, lol. Well, yeah, that's true. Although I can't actually remember any of them right now. My brain keeps going to love letters here from Muppet Treasure Island. There must be something up here. I got a key, that's right, so I can go to that ghostly door now. Okay, there we go. Game design. By the way, the game design in this was by Eric Kane, who has a few earlier credits for design, but on quite simple games, and for programming as well. But he transitioned to being a producer and executive producer for a lot of other Titus stuff after this. The whole game is programmed by one person. I wrote it down here. Hervé Trisson, who also programmed the Xena Warrior Princess game for Game Boy Color, which is also a kind of Zelda clone, but pretty different to this. I might actually show that off maybe at the end of the stream. I'll play this one for most of it, and I'll do a little brief compare and contrast if I get to it. It's worth talking about Xena as well. Zach actually suggested it for last week during Pride Month, which is a good idea because there's a lot of homoerotic subtext in the show especially between the two main characters, Xena and Gabrielle. Excuse me? Do I need to equip the key? No. Okay, so the key wasn't for this door. I guess it's for the dungeon, which is near where Merlin is, I think. Alright, I'll go over there. So maybe I'll save doing a proper Xena stream for later, if another related event on the calendar comes up. Or maybe just whenever I feel like it, who knows, you know? But yeah, there's some pretty good Xena games out there. Well, okay, there's some terrible Xena games out there. I don't think any of them are considered good, actually. But it's an interesting topic to talk about, I think. And it was one of the, it's an early kind of cinematic universe kind of thing. Or I guess in another sense, it's following an older model of sort of sitcom crossovers, because you had Xena was a spin-off of the Hercules show, and they subsequently crossed over. And I find that pretty fascinating. Hey, I need more experience, guy. Okay, you need to bait them, I think, is the idea. So there weren't anything like this enemy in the movie, really. They were just sort of... The bad guys were all giant, armored monstrosities. As well as the chicken, who sort of had a change of heart later. The blade beak chicken. Okay, now I can go in the dungeon. Cool stuff. Oh, nice cave, nice spider. Giant spider. Doesn't look much like a spider. Very large body, very small legs. Okay, that's fine. I like spiders to not be too realistic, I think. Because who likes spiders? Okay. So what were we talking about? Xena? The songs in the film? So far I don't think any of the game's music has been inspired by the music of the film. Probably just the work of Titus's French composers. Okay, so heart refill. Oh, it didn't give me extra hearts? That was just a health restore? It's lame. Gibbon says, I'm surprised no one has tried to reboot Xena. Funny you should say that, because while researching Xena this morning, I kind of just got into a wiki hole. There was an attempt to do it a couple of years ago, but it kind of fell through. So, there was a recent attempt to reboot Xena. Although, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be unwelcome even now. The show has a pretty interesting premise and got pretty crazy at times. Just reading some of the synopses, like, it's all about, they interact with so many different mythological deities and things go really crazy. There's a time skip, their children turn evil, and like, they get, like, whoa, okay, here we go, there's a boss. So, it's Ruba. What was his voice? Never mind, I don't remember. So, little girl Matt wants to save her mother. How cute. You're no match for me, you're just a child. Your father, Sir Lionel, tried to beat me and he paid with his life. What makes you think you could do any better? It was something like that. Whoa, look at that. That is beautiful sprite. He is bald like that in the movie, or balding. He has this sort of mullet, like an extreme super mullet, because he's bald at the front and like super long in the back. Okay, so this is not going well. Let's back up a bit. I'll equip the shield and we'll have a proper go at this. Oh, that was an item. So if I'm in trouble, I can use the heart to restore my health. Okay, that's good. That's a bit better than I thought. Oh, what is the point of this shield? It doesn't protect me at all. And I can just gank this guy out of existence. Nice spiky shoulder pieces. That's part of his character design in the film too. At least after the 10 years time skip. Okay, apparently he can spiral up like that. Oh, a nice welcome, Matt. Okay. Oh, it's Merlin again. What's the dealio? You showed great valor, Kaylee, but Ruber escaped and still has your mother. He used a magic potion he got from a magician. See, in the film he says he got it from some witches. Just pointing that out. And transformed his minions into massive soldiers that are half human and half weapon. Now he wants to overthrow King Arthur. So Merlin's the exposition machine in this game, it seems. Okay, Merlin received word that Ruber's mighty griffin stole King Arthur's magical sword, Excalibur. Trying to prevent the received word, Arthur would have just told him. Trying to prevent the Griffin's escape, Merlin called upon the silver-winged falcon Aiden. See, that's something they don't imply until the end of the movie, for help. Oh, or is it? Did I miss a scene? Did I forget that Merlin sends Aiden? No, he comes out of the forest, doesn't he? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, Aiden attacked the Griffin, and it dropped Excalibur into the thorn-infested canopy in the Forbidden Forest. Excalibur lost, Ruba's growing army, Camelot's days are numbered. Kaylee is the only hope. Kaylee must find Excalibur before Ruba, or it's doomed. Merlin, something. That's almost on model. Yeah, that looks half decent. Gibbon says he'd want a continuation of the universe rather than a remake. They did that Young Hercules show, but that was sort of contemporaneous with the actual Hercules show. Yeah, so there's Aiden, the Falcon, attacking the Griffin. Oh, and now I'm here. No. I don't want to save my game. Wait. Oh, that was a free save, I think, for getting to the end of the chapter, maybe? Ow, what's this about? Why is this rock hurting me so much? We're not up to the rock golem part yet. Actually, I might as well take advantage of that if it truly is a free save. Yes. Save completed. See, the game, it's just not that snappy. Like, those transitions, they take so long. It's kind of frustrating. Anyway, that's classic video game enemy. Oops. Okay. But yeah, the story of Xena is pretty interesting. But this isn't the Xena stream, not yet anyway. The story of Quest of Camelot is pretty interesting. Yeah, like I said, I think my favorite part of it is the fact that the protagonists yeah, like I said, subverting their assigned roles and thriving. Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? I watched half of Raiders last week. I should finish that at some point. Okay, this sucks. Yeah, that was bad. There we go. Much better. This is no long play. Sorry. This is just me tooling around with games. I guess I don't really explain the premise of this stream very often, but I should kind of write in the description what it actually is, because I don't think I explain it very well. It's me doing commentated blind let's plays of games that might be obscure, something like that. I need a snappy way of saying it. Yeah, Gibbon is bringing up the Disney film based on Arthurian legend, The Sword and the Stone, which is from the 60s. So what is going on here? The horse talks to me. I am hungry. I need food before I can help. So Kaylee can talk to animals now. I guess it's not unusual. There is the talking. Well, dragons are magic. They can talk. Like, that's allowed. The griffin, I guess, is also magic, so it can talk. The chicken was transformed by magic, so I guess we'll give it a pass. Although I really wish it didn't, because it doesn't have many lines, but when it does, they're like stupid pop culture references, which, one, are really dated, two, not funny even at the time, and three, kind of, you know, if anything, alienate children. That's not really a concern, I guess. I just think that's stupid. They're supposedly, you know, I guess, so the parents have something to laugh at, maybe, but I don't know. It's just, I think it's misguided, that whole thing. It never improves the film whenever it comes up, I think. Anyway. What was I saying? Yeah, the horse. I was attracted by the horse because Gibbon said something about The Sword and the Stone, which is Disney's thing, and that movie is kind of a mess, isn't it? Like, Arthur is like transformed into a fish for half the movie. I don't know, it's weird. I haven't seen that in a while either, but yeah, he was talking about the montage of Arthurian legend that opens this film, and he wants to go and edit Sword in the Stone footage into it. Yeah, they like I said, this is a story kind of set after Merlin has become king and established the kingdom for 10 years. Much like Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So is there anything else worth doing in this forest? I guess this is the first entry into the Forbidden Forest, which in the film is this incredibly strange kind of enchanted evil forest, which has all kinds of weird things going on. It gives them an excuse to have some really surreal imagery at times and strange things happening for the sake of the plot, like big man-eating plants that take care of the enemy minions for a little bit. Okay. Ah, this must be Garrett. He looks kind of weird, but everyone does in this game, I think. So he has a stick and he's blind, so let's talk to him. It is Garrett. Oh, 2 T's. I was spelling it with 1 T earlier, but it's 2 T's. Okay, never mind. I could tell you, how does he talk? He talks with a Carrie Elwes voice. He talks like, what's the guy's name? In Princess Bride? The Dread Pirate Roberts. What's his name? Anyway. He can tell that I have experience in combat. Your sword is quite powerful. I will let you pass, but don't underestimate the dangers of the forest. Excuse me? That's really different from the film. Okay. Well, that's fine. We'll see how that develops if he comes back. Yeah, Gibbon saying he loves the plants and the animistic stuff that goes on in the movie. Yeah, especially in the forest, it's pretty strong with that kind of stuff. So I guess I'm going to get a bomb or something to blow down walls. Yeah, it's also interesting. There's some interesting animation stuff that happens as a result of the forest, the wacky forest shenanigans. So yeah, there's good stuff in the film for sure. Let's see. Given saying how in the film he can see germs of something better than what it ended up being, and also says the same is true of this game. Okay, you must be a strong warrior to have come all this way by yourself. I'll sell you a shovel which may be useful to you. Why would I want that? Well, you can dig with it. Dig for what? What could I possibly find here? Legends say that many things are hidden in this land. You're just saying that to get me to buy the shovel. Well, you can dig up turnips. Why would I want turnips? There's a horse around here that seems to like them. Oh, how much for the shovel? 50 gems. The loading between the dialogue voices is terrible. Alright, I bought the shovel. That was an amusing piece of dialogue that has nothing to do with the film, so well done, Titus. Okay, and yeah, Kaylee rides a horse briefly. Was that a turnip? It looked like hay, but nothing really happened. Ooh, heart. Nice. Oh, hearts are everywhere. And then what's this? It was another one of these hay things. I don't know. Yeah, she rides a horse when she's escaping from her house that's been invaded by Ruba. But the horse is kind of crazy and nuts, and she doesn't seem to have much of a relationship to it, even though she's a farmer and takes care of all the animals. because it kind of bucks her off because it's too scared at the edge of the forest, and then it runs away and it's never seen again. So Garrett's back, and he has a house this time. He's not really seen in a house in the film. He kind of just lives in a cave, maybe? You never really see the inside of it. He kind of just roams around, maybe. Anyway, you again. What are you doing in here, in my home? Please leave. Oh, rude. Okay. Yeah, nobody even questions the living trees and plants, because of course they have spirits and whatnot. Yeah, it's interesting. There's just this one line briefly where, oh, it's enchanted, like, to explain all the crazy stuff that happens in the forest. Gibbon's running a check on his computer to see if Windows 10 screwed up anything that caused this blue screen. He says everything past Windows 7 has been horrid. I gotta agree. Although, since I've been using Windows 10 at work, I haven't had too many problems with it. But I don't really tax it greatly. I just use Office basically, and Chrome. I was using Firefox, but for some reason it didn't play nice with the net nanny that the IT guys put up, and it was blocking basically everything I tried to visit, which is no way to get your work done. Yeah. Right. So what else can I say about this? Oh yeah, we probably won't get that far, so I'll mention the fact that in among all the animated films that were released in the 90s, you had the Disney Renaissance, like I said. You had DreamWorks taking off, Fox was doing Anastasia, but in the meantime you also had Pixar starting up. Toy Story was 1995 and Bugs Life 98. Toy Story 2 even came in before the end of the decade, I believe, so it was really the beginning of the CG animation revolution as well. And at the same time, you started to see CG being used even in 2D animated traditional films. A deadly man-eating plant awaits beyond the wind. There is a magical stick somewhere in the Forbidden Forest. You will need this to defeat the plant. I will not let you go on without it. Come back when you're ready. Maybe a forest dweller will be able to help you. Garrett already has a magic stick. And he does use the stick, his stick, to beat the plants in the movie. He sort of has this bit where he teaches Kaylee about really the only combat training she gets in film is from Garrett, because he does this thing where Aiden, his falcon friend, warns him when the plant is about to attack, and then he dodges and hits back. And they call back to that later in the film when in the climax they're in a battle and Kaylee becomes the one who's going to tell him when to dodge because his stick's been cut in half and Aiden is not around, so he has to rely on Kaylee instead, whereas until then Aiden's been the one sort of helping him as a seeing eye bird. And yeah, Kaylee kind of takes on that role as support for him, which is nice, I think, and kind of sets up what their dynamic will be in the future beyond the events of the film, as Aiden returns to Mel, and so then at that point, presumably, yeah. Although as Gibbon was just watched the film earlier, and he was wondering if perhaps the big magical Deus Ex Machina thing that happens at the end actually heals Garrett's eyesight, whereas I think that would kind of undercut that theme of him overcoming his blindness and finding a place in society despite it, instead of just being magically healed at the end. And the fact of Kaylee and Garrett forming a partnership and a union that would support each other is kind of taken away if he magically gets his eyesight back. So, yeah. I believe that he is still blind at the end of the movie, but Gibbon thinks that his eyes actually changed color. I'm not sure. Okay, so I have been collecting things out of the ground. I'm going to assume they're turnips, so I'm going to go back to the horse and see if anything's changed and if the horse will help me. Cuban, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. And Cuban says that DreamWorks popped up around that time. Yes, indeed. They, I don't know if Prince of Egypt was there first, but that was made around this time in the 90s. And I love Prince of Egypt. It's really great. I really like the songs in that one, and the animation is great too. So yeah, that was the start of them as well. And they were obviously doing traditional 2D animation at the time. But yeah, as I was saying, they did start using computer graphics even in traditionally animated movies. Even as early as The Little Mermaid in 1989. At the climax of that film, when the big whirlpool opens up in the ocean, that was animated with CG. Although it's done pretty well, so you can't exactly tell straight away. But yeah, after that point, a lot of things started being done with CG. And that carries through to today. Alright, cool, I'm riding a horse, nice. This is, you can actually see on the cover art for this game, it's a strange, oh, wow, okay, that was an interesting little sprite. Oh, no way, I have to go find another turnip if I get knocked off. Okay, so there's one. I guess I only carry one at a time, but it's invisible. Okay, so, and then the horse lets me back on. Okay, so that's the mechanic. I can't attack, so I just have to avoid snakes. So I don't actually know what I need to do with this horse. What? As if. Oh, this... I don't like this mechanic. Oh boy. Okay, time for some Link's Awakening flashbacks. Let's dig up every tile on the map. That's not really a Link's Awakening memory for me specifically. It'd be more Oracle of Ages would be the thing that I was more used to at the time. I didn't have Link's Awakening as a kid. I had Seasoned in Ages, although I played a lot more Ages. So just going through screens and just digging, I did that a lot. And then occasionally you'd get like a 300 rupee and I was like, whoa, amazing. It's just very rad. So... No, I was not trying to talk to the horse. Now I'll talk to the horse. Oh, the lag, it's awful. Okay. So, I still don't know what I need this horse for exactly, but it's here, so... And Merlin said I needed it, I think. It just bucks you off when it gets hungry. I guess that's true to the film where the horse bucks you off, but this horse talks to you and then you feed it. So in terms of the computer animation stuff, during this film, later on they have to, well, they're looking for Excalibur in the forest and, you know, they're following its trail. And eventually they find a giant rock ogre who has the sword and is using it as a toothpick, actually. And the ogre is animated entirely with CG. And it's actually pretty impressive for the time and manages to not look jarring and sort of fit in fairly well with the animation. So I definitely do applaud them for that. Okay. I guess I'm gonna keep bringing the horse. It seems like more of a handicap than really a help. But I need to find the magic stick, which is somewhere in the forest. Presumably the horse is going to help me. Excuse me. I'm going to go back and talk to Merlin again because I don't remember what I'm doing. Where was he? Yeah. Okay. Manning plant, magical stick. I will not let you. Maybe a forest dweller will be able to help you. What is the horse for? Let's go talk to Garrett and see if he knows anything about the stick, because I don't think we talked to him since learning about the stick from Melon. Please help me. Ruber's Griffin attacked King Arthur and stole Excalibur. On the way back to Ruba, the sword fell into the Forbidden Forest. If Ruba gets Excalibur, Camelot is doomed. Since you live here, you must know the secrets of the forest. Please help. Oh, if only my father, Sir Lionel, was here. Name drop. Sir Lionel, your father? My name is Garrett, and I knew your father. I used to live in Camelot. I was a stable boy, but I dreamt of becoming a knight. One night, there was a fire. I rushed to save the horses, but I was hurt. At first, all I could see was shapes, then shadows. Finally, my world went black. After I lost my sight. This is all word for word from the movie, I think, dialogue, so that's cool. Yeah, he gets kicked in the head by a horse who is panicked by the fire, and he loses his sight because of that. Your father was the only one who still believed in me. He taught me that a knight's strength comes from his heart, and his loyalty to the oath of Camelot. Now any hope I had of becoming a knight died with him. Yes, Kaylee, I will help you. There is a dangerous plant up ahead, and you'll... This is the bit that's for the game. You'll need a magical stick to have any chance against it. Legend says it's in the Spider Cave. The entrance has been sealed for some time now, but I can open it for you. It's located south of here. The entrance will open when you approach it. So what is the horse for? I still don't get that. Maybe they just thought it would appeal to the audience. Girls like horses. And girls like girls protagonists in games, right? It's all a fallacy. Anyone can play any game, no matter who's the protagonist. Ah, so there we go. And my sword is doing more damage, so lovely. Oh, I started talking about the box cover a while ago, but I think I trailed off. The thing is, it's interesting because it's quite unlike the poster of the movie. It just has Kaylee riding her horse and one of the evil knights in the background, and that's it. Like, there's no Garrett on the poster, there's no Ruba. It's just one of the mechanical knights and Kaylee riding a horse. So that kind of suggested to me that the horse would be an important mechanic in the game. So the picture sends me back to the start of the dungeon. Okay. Oh, come on. Yeah, okay, there we go. Given says, we're not even half an hour into the film. Yeah, I've been going for an hour and 20 minutes now, and we've just met Garrett, basically, properly. Ow. Yes, now that I got a hang of things, maybe I'll move a bit quicker? Yeah, who am I kidding? Yep. So, yeah, this game, I saw release data for it on Moby Games only for North America, and in fact in the credits, it was actually published by Nintendo of America. Oopsie. And they helped with testing it as well. So there's credits for NOA testers. Sorry. But it was not just released in North America, even though Moby Games doesn't have the information for the European release. There was one because I saw a photo on Google Images of a cartridge with the EUR code on the side of it. The cartridges all have these little serial number codes on them, and they include the region of the game. Alright, I found a magic stick. Yes, indeedy. Okay. Given says, not that tie-in games should be short or anything, but you would figure they put most of the filler after Garrett joins the party. Well, that's the thing. Judging by the cover of the game, I think Garrett is going to be sort of, not a minor role, but he's not going to be playable. It's going to be Kaylee's story, and possibly a horse. Oh, seriously? Alright, well that's a shortcut back to the start anyway. Hey, that didn't actually hurt me. Okay, that's fine. But yes, you're right. The sort of blurb for the game mentions how many levels and areas there are, but I don't remember the number exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how long the game takes. That long play, like I said, takes 3 hours. But yeah, it's unlike Zelda in the sense that it's not linear, but like you go from area to area, and it's not like you backtrack at any point significantly. Okay, I got the stick, bro. Please help me. Oh, it's going to repeat this conversation. Okay. So he opened the thing for me, and that's all he does. Now I leave him with the stick and go to Merlin. Okay. Cuban asking, when do we meet Eric Idle Dragon? Yes, so I mentioned the dragon sidekicks in the film. Or the talking animal sidekicks. You've got the falcon, which doesn't talk but is intelligent. The chicken, which is voiced by Jaleel White, the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog, among others. The griffin, which is the villain's talking animal sidekick. Oh, the falcon has a voice actor credited, says Gibbon. Yeah, they do. Yeah, okay. I guess it was just a person doing animal impersonations, which I think is a common thing. You see D. Bradley Baker does a lot of that, actually. I first noticed him in Avatar The Last Airbender. He's the voice of Appa and Momo, and he just does all the animal voices, basically. They gave him an actual character to do in Korra. I think he's Boomy. General Boomy. Yes, I have the magical stick. The horse to get through the wind. The horse is too far away, but it's just on the next screen over. Okay, so this is the windy part? Yeah. Ah. Can't go. Need horse. Farmer can help. Okay. Let's see. What was I saying? Yes, Eric Idle Dragon. So the sidekicks. After this point in the film, they reach Dragon Country, and there's evil dragons, but then there's like this loser dragon who actually talks to them, which is breaking the dragon code, so then they think they'll get banished for it, so they go along with them on the journey. And this dragon character is this like two-headed sort of mutant dragon. And this is explained in his introduction when he says, we're the reason that cousins shouldn't marry. So he's like an inbred dragon who mutated to have two heads. And one is like short and fat and one is tall and skinny. The heads, I mean. Okay, Ruba's evil knights ruin the garden. Please save this village. Blah, blah, blah. So he's more concerned about his garden and village. So it's another one of these things where I have to kill all the enemies in the area. Let's do it. So yeah, the tall head is voiced by Eric Idle of Monty Python fame. I think the short head was Don Rickles, maybe? I didn't recognize the name. I know he's like I did recognize the name, but I don't really know much about the guy. He's an American comedian or something. Ooh, a Jemmy. Still don't know what that does. Maybe it's experience? Don Rickles, yeah. Cuban confirms. Thank you. Gibbon says this should have been a Dragon Quest style RPG rather than a Zelda clone. You know, I don't disagree, but at the same time a Zelda clone is easier to make, possibly. Did I not kill all the minions? What's missing? Find more minions. Well, he was no help at all. I guess there's more minions that I missed somewhere on this screen. Ah, here. Yeah, so this dragon... Yeah, the two heads have different names. It's Cornwall and Devon. So they're just like English towns or counties or whatever. Oh, come on, really? Okay, more minions. Yeah, and they have a musical number at their introduction, which includes a cameo by the Tex Avery character Red Hot Riding Hood, by the way, for no reason. And it's full of like fourth wall breaking references and humor, which again, not my cup of tea, but you know, you can't complain about it too much because it's in some of the best Disney movies as well, like Timon and Pumbaa, The Genie and Aladdin. Still more minions to fight. Okay. So I've been that way, I've been this way. What have I missed? Aha. Just didn't search very thoroughly, did I? There's actually an explicit Lion King reference in the dragon song, which is called If I Didn't Have You. It's kind of catchy, I guess. Yeah, there's this bit where, like, they're on Pride Rock and he holds the other dragon up. Kind of rolled my eyes. Okay, here we go. Garden in the east, biggest turnips of the land. There's a horse that likes turnips. Great. Okay, so where's this garden to the east? Oh. Is this it? Did I get it? That was the heart sound. Okay, I have a turnip. It might only be in that area. Anyway. So this is what the horse is good for. Let's go and get the horse. Still here, good. Didn't respawn. Yes, many pop culture references in that number. Yeah, the dragon and the chicken are the main sources of, like, as comic relief characters, they're able to break the fourth wall in that way. Although I think someone else breaks the fourth wall. Maybe Ruba does at one point. Yeah, I mentioned that. Red Hot Riding Hood. You also see, there's another cameo from the little girl character from Family Dog, the show, which I knew something about it yesterday, but I've forgotten everything about it now. So anyway, it's just a thing that exists, I guess. Don't know why I had to go to that garden specifically. There's turnips all over the place. Yeah, let's go. Oh wait, it was just back down there, wasn't it? Yeah, it's through here. Wait, what? I think she got kicked off the horse halfway through that cutscene, or that dialogue. Okay, let's pass that wind finally. Again, the wind, not an element of the movie, just a game mechanic. The horse was long gone at this point. Seriously? What? Maybe I need a bigger turnip from the garden to get all the way through? Yeah, this sucks. Alright, let's talk to this guy again. Oh no, really? But, man, Oh boy. Okay, so what's the dealio here? Like, the turnips here are better, maybe? Alright, so I've got one from there. I'll go back now with that. Yep, I didn't get any further. Can I, like, hold the B button to run faster? Nope. Nothing works. Do I have another turnip in store? Nope. I don't understand this at all. Oh, this sucks. Okay, well, I could stop playing now and swap over to Xena, or I could go and kill all the knights again. I'm so close to the next chapter. I do want to see what happens next. Oh, that was dumb. I'm glad it's so easy to restore my health now that I have a shovel. That really helps a lot. Okay, let's do it. But yeah, Quest for Camelot. It's a decent movie, you know, despite the circumstances of its release. It didn't deserve to be as hugely unsuccessful as it was, I think. And I do like Kaylee as a protagonist. It just, yeah, could have used more time in the oven, a bit more expertise in crafting it from the management level. Okay, did that satisfy you, Mr. Farmer? Okay. I want to repay you from a trouble. My garden in the east is known for producing the biggest turnips in the land. Go and dig one up if you'd like. I don't know if you'd like turnips. Okay, so the garden in the east makes bigger turnips than usual, apparently. So now that he's given me that dialogue, maybe I will find one that's different. In the garden to the east, which seems to be this area. Not all these tiles are diggable though. The thing is, I pick up whatever's there before I even get a chance to see it. So I don't know if it looks any different from an old turnip. It looks the same. I don't know. Whoa! Okay, that's certainly different. And the game made sure to tell me. Okay, that's fair. Maybe? Is it fair? I don't know. I feel I've been cheated. I feel that took way longer than it should have. Let's do this. Yes, run, 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 run. Oh, thank goodness. The tedium is over for now. Aha, dragon country. So these are the evil dragons, even though they look cute and goofy and doofy. Yeah, that's one of the plot points as well, is that Cornwall and Devon cannot breathe fire or fly, and they don't know why. They think it's just because they're uber failures. But it turns out it's because their two heads can never agree on anything. So when, at a critical point in the movie, they agree that they need to save Kaylee, when she's briefly in trouble, they manage to overcome that, and they fly and they breathe fire. Yeah, we seem to just be leaving Garrett behind. Like, that was his role in the story, was to open a cave for us to get a stick. We haven't even seen that plant yet, by the way. So presumably the dragons will appear as an NPC in this area, and we won't see them again after that. Oh, I can't dig here, so I won't be able to dig up infinite hearts. That's unfortunate, because these dragons are quite tough customers. They better be worth good experience. Takes too long to check though. Nah. Stupid fire breath. Good. Okay, I just need to find out where to go. There's not going to be an NPC here telling me to kill all the dragons, is there? I don't know, maybe that's what Cornwall and Devon will demand. Ouch. This dragon's a rough man. Sprite is like totally flipping out. It looks awful. See, that shouldn't, in a well-made game, that would not happen, I think. Yeah, that's not the right way. Let's at least meet Cornwall and Devon, since Cuban was asking about them. I don't remember which one was Cornwall and which one was Devon. Nah. Yeah, the actual, like, bad guy dragons in the film look a lot scarier than these little fellas. Okay, so extra heart. Does it take up an extra slot? Oh, it overwrote the one that was already there, so I might as well use the one that I had. The short head is Cornwall. Gibbon quoting his line, "You can call me Corny for short." Okay, I've used my heart. I wonder if I can use the magic stick as a weapon. Wow, that looks pretty ineffectual. Let's see, stuff. Oh yeah, another one of the little development tidbits behind the movie was they started animating it before the story was fully locked down, so they had to change things. Just one of those problems with the scheduling and the managing. Okay, so I've got something new. It's a slingshot. Classic Zelda thing. Not in the movie at all. But it'll help a lot with these dragons. Yeah, there's actually a really cool scene where the dragons, the heroes are like running away from a dragon, and at the same time Ruba and his minions are catching up with them. And so then at some point the dragon, like, sorry, let me start again. Like, Ruba ends up getting cornered by a dragon that was chasing the heroes, and he's like a complete badass in the film. At one point he grabs the head of a mace that Kaylee was swinging at him, and he just twists it and drops it. But yeah, this dragon comes up, he throws his sword down, and he just goes up and punches the dragon down, and the next time you see him, they're roasting the dragon carcass and eating its meat. So yeah, Ruba's a pretty great character actually, all things considered. Gary Oldman does a good job with the voice too. Yeah. Gibbon agrees. Says he's got a good. He pulls a good face as he punches the dragon. Okay, so here's the plant. Here's my magic stick. Hello? Seriously? Melon warned me about this plant and this stick. Like, ugh. Anyway, whatever. I guess I'll just have to avoid the plants or. Oh, boss time. Okay. Ah, the big plant. Okay. Yeah, what? Okay. Okay. So what's up here? Nothing. So what's down here? Plants. Must use good timing. No? Okay. There's a pattern to them. And they pause. I didn't, yeah, the face. Okay, boss time. Save state. What do I do? Don't get hit. First roll. Okay. Attack the tentacle and then... Oh, it put a stick in the mouth. I don't think that happens in the film, but that's a classic kind of cartoon trope. Happens in Return of the Jedi, of course. And while it's trapped like that, I can attack it. That's Zelda logic. Works well. Good. I mean, the main problem is you have to get really close to use it, and you end up taking contact damage accidentally, which is really annoying. Like, that's bad design, I would say. If I knew anything about game design, which I don't. Ouch. Damn it. Oh, this sucks. Oh no. Huzzah! Hello? Can I have a fanfare or something? Nope. Pit opens, fall down pit. So we're back in a house. Whose house is this? Oh, it's Merlin's house. It's Exposition Lord's house. Kaylee, you have done well so far, but you still have a long journey ahead of you. The Excalibur sword is deep within the Forbidden Forest, and you must forge ahead no matter what stands in your way. See, she doesn't need this kind of pep talk in the film. She gets stuff done. Okay, Kaylee emerges into the dragon's territory and is overwhelmed with fear. Ferocious dragons are everywhere, and they seem to sense her presence. Gathering all of her courage, Kaylee forges on and enters the dragon's territory. Yep. I thought we already did that, because we already met some dragons. That actually looks okay. That picture. It's a bit... They didn't quite know how to color in the lines, and the nose is just 2 dots, but... Okay, what's this now? Is this the golem? Or the ogre? Or are we just entering dragon territory? Okay. Ah, here they are. Wow. So that's after they fall in the mud. This is like a scene from the movie. What? That was awful. Was that our introduction to Devon and Cornwall? Oh. Don't fall in the water, I guess. That was kind of weird. Okay, here they are. The sprite's not terrible. The heads are on the wrong side, but that's probably because the sprite is going to flip or something. We are... No, Don Rickles. We are dragons. I can't do the voice. Ferocious, hungry dragons, so go away before I eat you, raw. That was good, Cordy. Let me have a go. We'll bite your toes and bounce on your belly, so don't bother us. Rah, rah. Oh, great. Now she'll think we're going to tickle her to death. I'm sure she's cringing in fear. Be quiet. Make me. If you don't stop arguing, I'll make both of you be quiet. Yes, the heads are on the wrong sides. I said that. Please don't hurt us. I thought you were ferocious dragons. Not exactly. The real ferocious ones are those fire-breathing bullies out there. Yes, they're always picking on us, calling us names, pushing us around. What are you? Yeah, the other thing is the heads obviously have very different personalities. You ask as if you've never seen a two-headed dragon before. Actually, I'm Devon, and this growth on my neck is Cornwall. What are you? My name is Kaylee. I'm looking for the magical sword Excalibur. Do you know where it is? As sure as we breathe fire. Problem is, we don't breathe fire. We can't even fly. Some dragon, huh? Can you at least help me get out of here? Sure, you need a mysterious dragon scale. That's the only way for you to cross the swamp water and leave this wretched place. Just ask that strange fellow who's been roaming around here. Oh, dragons! We have to fly or run. Later. Okay. Yeah, they left out the where the reasons cousins shouldn't marry line from the film, Skibbon points out. Oh, what? Okay, so that's like the acid stuff that's in the film, I guess, but the dragon has no problem walking over it. Yeah, there's a cool scene where they have to cross this pool of acid which is there for some reason, and there's like rocks floating in it, or eggs, or whatever it is. And Kaylee like jumps across them, and then Garrett has to cross, and he is helped by Aiden, who flies. He's sort of darting around this acid pool and like flying over where the rocks are, and then chirping, and Aiden and Garrett hears that and knows where to jump. It's pretty cool. And it shows how Aiden helps overcome Garrett's sightlessness in some way. Although, as we know, the true power was inside him all along. Oof, that was devastating. Yeah, this stick has become useless. Can I dig up more hearts? No, but I can use the slingshot. Oops, what happened? There we go. I think it does less damage than the sword. Oh! Oh, it uses up gems. That's kind of clever. And since I haven't been using them any other way, there was the 50 to buy the shovel once, and I haven't saved at all. So I have no problem with using as many as I need to. That's why I had an odd count before. That's like a callback to Zelda 1, where the bow, instead of using arrows, it would use rupees, because arrows weren't a separate item that you carried. Okay, so now I'm collecting eggs. Did they mention eggs, or is that the dragon scale? I guess I have the dragon scale now? Can I cross this? Nope. So what are the rocks for? Well, I haven't gone this way yet. It doesn't feel like Kayleigh's moving very fast, but then again, I think she's moving at an appropriate speed for the size of the environments. It's kind of boring how there's only one kind of enemy per area. Oh, there's another egg. So those rocks are just nothing. Oh boy, okay, what do I do now? So there must be a way I haven't gone. When I told Gibbon I was doing this game on stream, he seemed to be familiar with the movie. So I'll ask you, Gibbon, when you watched it again yesterday, how did it measure up to your memories and your expectations? Because I had pretty much zero expectations, especially hearing about how the film essentially flopped. Oh, okay, I can just cut that down. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be a masterpiece, so I was actually pleasantly surprised. It was a decent enough film. So I have one egg, and I have the scale. The scale still doesn't let me cross the stupid acid stuff. Okay, so I have the scale. Oh, do I need to equip it while I'm here? Okay, that's interesting. Still have no idea what that is. Okay, so here's the scale. Oh, wow. It lets me jump. Oh, amazing. I love that. Oops. Okay, cool. This is actually pretty interesting because this jump is really similar to what Xena has in the Xena game. So now I really want to show that. Oh gosh, I've almost been going 2 hours. This is probably a good time for it, actually. So I didn't quite get to the ogre. I'm guessing at the end of this area we might find the ogre. Actually, we'll probably fight a dragon, and then there'll be another area. That's my prediction. But we're not going to get that far. Oh, this has been fairly slow going, I think. Ooh. But yeah, like I said, the movie is not bad. The game, maybe a little bad, but that's okay. I've been enjoying sort of reliving the movie a little through it and seeing how it differs. Given some weighing in here. Let me reset and see if there's an attract mode while I read Gibbon's recollections. He says it was not as good as he recalled, but not in ways he expected. He says, I felt that, yeah, the film was decent overall. It just lacked like little touches. Like the backgrounds are pretty static and have no moving parts beyond the characters. Whereas, for example, a Disney film would have like foliage waving in the breeze, or bugs or critters or other fauna or what have you. Little touches like that. Yeah, that's interesting. It's just another symptom, I think, of the studio being inexperienced, probably. Yeah. Oh, here we go. The attract mode starts Kaylee in the opening area, but with maximum health and money. And apparently sword level 2, which goes up to 5. So I was actually at 3, almost at 4. And there's no enemies around, and she's just walking. This is weird. What is this? This doesn't really tell you anything about the game. This is so strange. The music's different too, even. Oh, is it going to go through different areas? I'm going to fast forward this. I'm curious. I will get to Xena really briefly in a minute. Yeah, she's just like wandering through each area of the game. Castle, the cave, the other cave, the boss arena, the house, back in the cave. This is so strange. In the forest. Like, it was some bored employee's job to record these one day. Oh, that's it. Okay. That was really odd. Like, they entered the boss arena and it started the boss cutscene. Wow, that's weird. Okay, that was an interesting discovery. Okay, let's swap over now. I've got my other window here. Yeah, just to show you, I won't be playing a Xena game today, but I think it might be interesting to compare it. So this one, very obviously using a digitized still from the show here, Lucy Lawless as Xena. Some very heavily compressed images here. There's the Titus Fox, the mascot of Titus. He got his own game actually at one point. I remember reading about it in magazines at the time. Titus was, like, I recognize the name, which is weird because it should be something to warn you off from something. They were the ones behind the infamous Superman 64, which is a game that I bought and owned. Not bought, my brother actually got it for his birthday. Start game. So it starts you on G, which is why that one was all G's, and then it like fills them in weirdly, and it's a really long file name. That's an odd little thing. Oh, given with more Quest for Camelot takes here. All the characters had unique designs, even the human forms of Ruba's minions, and were animated well, I agree. And I didn't think the musical numbers were bad at all, despite being a late addition. The plot was fine, the script was fine, and actually had a number of nice moments and lines, I agree. I loved all the animistic living plants and stuff, I also agree. He says, yeah, the film was good, it just needed an extra push to be great, if that makes sense. That does make sense, and I think I agree with everything he said, so yeah. It's interesting how despite what a mess the production was, they did actually turn out a decent product in the end. It just wasn't an amazing product, you know? So anyway, here's Salmoneus. I don't know who this is, but this game takes place in a weird dream realm called Psychosia. It's completely disconnected from anything that happens in the show. I don't even think Gabriel is in this game, although I can't really say for sure. So yeah, will you be able to wake up? You have to find a sword. So what I got from playing the first couple of minutes of both Quest for Camelot and this is that they just start in the exact same way. You're dumped in a place and you have to go find a sword. I mean, it's not unusual for a Zelda clone, but yeah, I did explore a bit, so I know the sword is here, and you get it. It's automatically equipped in this game, but Xena's sprite is a little more realistically proportioned, but it's still not amazing looking. It's a little ugly still. Like I said, both these games were... And this little jingle and the little holding up animation with the lines around it, very similar to Quest for Camelot too. So there's a lot of commonalities actually between the two games. They were made a few years apart. This was released in 2001, but they were both programmed by the same guy, Hervé Trisson. He was working alone on Quest for Camelot, but he was one of oh no, he was the sole one on this as well, so he did both by himself. What I've written is that he later worked for Visual Impact, which I know because they made the Game Boy Advance version of Rayman Raving Rabbids, which I really enjoy, and it's sort of a sequel to the first game but with Rabbids content, and it's really good, although it's short. And he was one of 3 programmers on that one. So yeah, the jump is the thing that I noticed. Xena has this ability from the beginning, and it's a bit longer than Kaylee's from Quest for Camelot, but I think the animation as she does it is kind of funny, but it's really quick and kind of jerks the screen around, so it's a bit jarring. But Xena, like I was saying how Kaylee moves slowly, but Xena actually moves a lot quicker in this game. Maybe too quick, I don't know. But yeah, given saying she's got shoulders that will put a football to shame. Very top heavy, but not in the way you'd expect a female character to be. Yeah. Is it going to do that every time I get a gem? Wow. So what's the inventory look like? Wow. Oh, I love that demo scene. Color scrolling in the background. That's really nice. And yeah, a much more fleshed out inventory screen this time rather than just a blank thing. So the B button is a big spring. That's what her jump looks like, yeah. So here's Salmoneus again. What's he gonna say? Yeah, you found your sword, a precious object where the fates live. I don't know where the fates live, dude. But that was the bears' territory, but there were no bears, just giant dragonflies. Don't know what's up with that. Oh, bloodthirsty rabbits. We're murdering them. So yeah, I do wonder if they do anything with the fact that this is a dream world, if any elements of Xena's psyche come back. I know that part of her background is that she used to be like a ruthless warlord and committed all sorts of, war crimes and stuff, and killed people and ruined razed towns and all sorts of awful stuff. But she's sort of repented from her past and is trying to do good in the world instead, with the help of Gabrielle. So yeah, I wonder if that comes up in the game, but I think we're going to end the stream there. So just, yeah, it really surprised me that I was considering playing this game at some point, but just how similar it ended up being to Quest for Camelot because of the development history. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed Quest for Camelot. The game certainly did not really portray the film very well. So like, forget about everything you saw today and go watch the film. Because it's not bad. However you can. Like, I don't know how you would actually get a hold of it, but given saying that her backstory is pretty similar to Kratos from God of War. Yeah, she screams a lot less, I guess, and rips people's heads off less. At least in her current life. I guess he's sort of reformed by the time of Beard of Dad or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, God of War, whatever. The sprite is really strange. Oh, there we go. Gibbon says it's available to watch on Amazon Instant Video, YouTube, Hulu, and a couple other platforms for a couple bucks. Good to know. That I don't know if that applies to all regions, so it's going to be different in different regions, obviously. But yeah. That's it for today. Thank you for joining me. Those of you who've been hanging out in chat, it's been nice. And yeah, Titus, I hope I find a game that they've done that's really great one day, because my experiences so far have been a little lackluster, you know? So yeah, that's that for today. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.